What's up, guys? So it's gonna be. Hold on. Alexa, turn off. Um, sometimes, so my dog's name is Dexter, and sometimes when I say Dexter, Alexa, make sure she didn't hear me. Alexa will think I'm talking to her, so she'll be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that," or whatever. And there's other times when I'll say something to Alexa, and Dexter will come running out. Like, isn't that so cute? They think I said their name and I didn't. I really need some human friends. I'm drinking some delicious tea that I got from the Leia Center out of my University of Kansas Health System mug. Little shameless plug there. I'm wearing my Kansas City Clothing Company KC shirt that was designed for Noah. My good buddy Noah Wilson, an inspiration. Anyways, so yesterday was kind of just a weird day for me. Not necessarily a bad day. It was definitely a day though, like a long day. Not even long, just had a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happened. And there's been a lot of things that I've been working on, and a lot of that is balance. And I don't necessarily mean like standing on my toes with my finger on my nose or anything like that. Just trying to find balance in the good and bad and what makes me happy and try to do things that make me happy. And I have a list that I've been kind of sticking to the last couple of weeks that have been really helpful. It's been a combination of working out, going to Tyler's house. He's remodeling and I've been helping him with that. That's been great. Maybe taking a walk with my dog, sitting down, laying down, watching Netflix. And by Netflix, of course, I mean The Office and whatever 2008 cinematic masterpiece Paul Rudd put out. Because, I always watch his movies and sometimes they're stinkers. But I still love you, Paul. But yeah, just different ways to make time for myself. And yesterday I did the usual. My best friend follows a few inspirational guys, and he was talking about how like they make sure to get up early, and one of them gets up at like 4:30 every day, and I was just like, man, that does not sound fun. And then I kind of started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're onto something. I do need to make some extra time for myself. So, kitty. And so I started waking up a little bit earlier. And I started kind of pushing myself here and there. I figure if I can't challenge myself and put myself in situations that I may be uncomfortable with, how am I gonna do that when life throws stuff at me? That's I think we're all kind of should be preparing for is adversity. How are we gonna overcome adversity? How are we gonna overcome struggle? What's gonna happen when things don't go our way? Because we can only control so much. And yesterday was one of those things that I was controlling as much as I possibly could, but it was still just an off day. One of the reasons I mentioned that I woke up so early and that it was just it seemed like a long day is because the day started earlier than most for me. So I kind of joked about that getting up early thing. And I don't see myself getting up at 4:30 every day. It happens sometimes. And when it does, I try to take advantage. Instead of going back to bed, I hit the gym. I try to be productive. And yesterday just started off on the wrong foot. I got up early, I went to the gym, I was proud of myself. I had a goal of hitting 3 spin classes yesterday. A friend and I are doing this campaign to hopefully raise money for the V Foundation. We're kind of piggybacking off of a campaign that Bristol Myers Squibb is doing, their Coast to Coast bike ride. And the last couple years, by the way, in case you couldn't tell, I'm gonna spend the whole day. I decided to take the day off. I'll get back to that. But I decided, so one of the things I was talking about, things I can control, the things I do that make me happy are right here in this living room. Got a TV behind the phone here, and I throw on YouTube and dance in my living room. And I always try to make a little bit of time for that. So I always, whether it's YouTube or Alexa, if I'm making lunch, making breakfast, if I have some free time to just kind of hang out, I throw on music. And yesterday I did all the things that I normally do, but there was still just like, it wasn't that balanced. It wasn't just going to the gym. It wasn't just going to Tyler's, which I did. And again, we'll get into this. There was just that balance. There was just something still off. So I'm like, today I'm gonna take a me day. I don't have a job right now. Mark Cuban hasn't met me, so he hasn't offered me a job. And I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do after this battle I went through. So I have a lot of free time, but I've been really trying to be productive. I've been going to the gym. I've been speaking out, speaking my truth, speaking my thoughts, trying to help other people, or at least, what I think I'm doing to help other people. I like to think, okay, what have people done to help me? What has made me feel good, and how can I help other people? And I felt like yesterday I had a pretty good balance. Uh-oh, here comes the cat. All right, I guess we'll wait a second here. Seriously, cat? Take your time. Not like we're recording here. Are you? Oh, okay. You're gonna sit down right in front of the camera? The whole ledge you have here. Okay. Okay, change of plans. Looks like that's a little... So, I just turned my phone on. I'm basically talking to myself, obviously. Talking to the phone. I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this. This is mostly for me, kind of a journal for today. And the reason I'm doing all that is just because, like I said, yesterday I had a funky day. I did everything I wanted to do, but it was still just a little off. And just, I feel like life kind of threw me a curveball. But I was prepared because I have been preparing for curveballs. And like yesterday was a day I think I'll remember, but it's a day that like kind of gut checked me, and it made me look inward in a good way, in an absolutely good way. So I was like, I need to throw a curveball back at life. So I'm gonna mix up my routine. I'm still gonna stick to something that I like, and what I'm gonna do is just hang out in my living room, have a dance party, talk to my cats, talk to Dexter. Oh yeah, he's still outside. And just kind of, this is a day in the life of Timmy. So I'm just gonna share some thoughts, probably dance to some music videos. Oh, that's one thing. So yesterday, we'll stir up a lot of, not necessarily emotions, but just feelings. And again, it's a good thing. Like when I look back on this day, or when I look back on yesterday, whether it's a year from now, a couple of years from now, it'll hit home. And it'll make me have those same thoughts that I had before. Like just the introspective look. It wasn't a bad day. Like there wasn't anything like, it was just, there was a couple things that upset me. There were a couple things that like, man, I wish this wasn't happening. But it was still a good day. I went to the gym. So my plan for yesterday was to hit 3 spin classes at City Gym, the best gym in Kansas City. And that was my goal. And I've been getting good about trying to stick to plans, but also letting myself adapt and switch the plan up. And I kind of realized yesterday, and my buddy pointed this out. I've come along. I've been working really hard. I've been hitting the gym a lot. I spent a lot of time at bars, too much time at bars. Can't really afford to drink. I've been battling cancer. I spent 3.5 years straight feeling like shit, and now it's like, okay, what can I control? Well, my health is one of them, and when I control my health, everything else around me kind of seems to make sense. Kind of seems to just be a little bit easier. So I started eating better and exercising just as much as I can, and I was kind of thinking like there's people that inspired me. There were a lot of sayings and quotes that I got while battling cancer that didn't really make sense at the time, but now I kind of get it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look at myself I think the camera's right here. I don't know. I guess it's on this side. Sorry, it's the new iPhone and I'm not sure. Yes, I think the camera's, yes. So if I'm not looking you in the eye or I look like I'm looking all over, it's because I don't know where to look. Pretty good, doing pretty good with my hands right now. You know, no Ron Burgundy stuff going on. So the gym motivation thing and a lot of the advice I got while battling cancer, one of them was listen to your body. And I never understood that. People, you know, I would post something and somebody would try to be encouraging and they would say, listen to your body. And I was like, what does that even mean? That to me just seemed like it's like somebody throwing up the prayer hands emoji. Like, I don't know if that's really helpful, but I'm glad that it made you feel helpful. And, you know, maybe there's something to it. But I started doing the listening to my body thing. And it was about this time last year that I was looking at my body and I was just like, man, I know you can do better. You know, I was on steroids that made me gain a bunch of weight and I couldn't really help that. But what I could help is how I recovered from it. You know, how do I bounce back? Am I gonna stay this heavy? I got stretch marks, man. I was like 65 pounds heavier than I've ever been. And finally, just last summer, it caught up with me. I was like, I'm just sick of looking like this. I'm sick of feeling like this. I'm going to listen to my body, and my body is telling me to take care of itself. You know, I'm basically on borrowed time now, and I want to make the best of it before I have to pay it back. So one of the ways that I can do that is, you know, by taking control. One of the things I can control is what I do with my body and how I make my body feel. So working out, at first, it was like I would take off my shirt, hop in the shower, and be like, oh man, look at that big old gut, you know? So finally got to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna lose some weight. I don't like this guy. I don't like having to buy larger shirts anymore. You know, I'm gonna start taking better care of myself. And I'd like to be able to make it up the steps without, you know, being winded. So I just started working out. No real goal, just to feel better. And, you know, I kind of started paying attention to other fitness people and what they did and like, how are they pushing themselves in a way that I can push myself? One of my friends right now, as I'm recording this, is on a kayak on the Missouri River, going 340 miles. I'm a bad friend. I should know the actual city to city thing, but she did it just because she felt like it. A friend told her about it. She started training, and I'm like, wow, you know, going 340 miles in a kayak does not sound fun to me. But what does sound fun to me is picking a challenge that I think is manageable and doable and completing that challenge. Another friend just ran a 50K over the weekend, and I'm like, man, what the hell? And, you know, I have no interest in running a 50K or a 5K. I just have an interest in doing better and challenging myself. And I kind of got excited yesterday because I left my second spin class early. Like I said, I was just kind of in my head, in my feelings, hashtag in my feelings. By the way, I think I'm going to teach myself that dance later. We're going to have some fun. So you're staying with me all day here. You're getting my thoughts. This is also for me later that I can watch. That's one thing I've loved about social media is that you can actually, if you do it right, you can see yourself grow. When I look back I love looking back on the memories thing, and I look back at who I was 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not that guy anymore, you know? Well, what's the point of going through all this stuff if I'm not growing and learning? So this is a little reminder for me in the future. Hey, future Tim. You know, right now I'm actually pretty happy. There was a funky day yesterday, but, you know, I think I'm figuring out how to work through it. So maybe this will help me, or maybe I'll look back at it and be like, ha, remember when that's what I was doing to make myself happy? And maybe I found something else. But anyways, I'm rambling. You guys know me. This is my time anyway. So what was I? Oh yeah, I left spin class early. I just mentally wasn't feeling it. My friend and I are doing this campaign to try to spin 3,000 miles. I'll explain more about that. But I just wasn't feeling it. I was like, you know, my days the last couple weeks, me go to the gym, I go to Tyler's, help him renovate his house. by that, I mean I usually just sit there and talk to him while he does all the work. I go to the gym again, and then I come home and watch Netflix, like I said. Usually The Office, or, I'll try something different every once in a while, but mostly The Office. And I feel like that's a good balance. I was having that good balance, but yesterday just wasn't feeling the gym. I needed more Tyler time. So I left the gym early, go to Tyler's, and I was just like, man, there's just some stuff going on, just kind of funky. I got to get my thoughts out. So him and I chatted, and sometimes just saying stuff out loud kind of makes it real. And when you hear it, you're like, okay, yeah, now that I'm saying it out loud, this does make sense, or it doesn't make sense. And yeah, so I just kicked it at Tyler's. I skipped my evening gym class, and I remember kind of talking to Tyler like, man, I was going to do 3 spin classes today. And he goes, dude, look at it this way. Look where you were a year ago or even a month ago. And he's like, now you're mad at yourself. You're disappointed in yourself for only being able to do 1.5 spin classes for the day. I was like, you know what? That's a lot better than 0. That's for sure. And the reason I'm okay with just taking today off is because I feel like I've earned it. I have been working hard in the gym. I've been eating right. I've been doing what I can to help other people. Now I just got to take a little me time. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You've got to do that. You can't help other people if you can't help yourself. Or at least you're better at helping other people if you're good at helping yourself. I think one thing I've really been learning is just kind of how to question everything, including my own thoughts. Questioning, am I doing this right? Do I know how to do this? Should I ask for help? And yesterday a buddy reached out to me, and a guy I barely know, but we've kind of bonded over Facebook, and he messaged me. He's like, man, I just found out I got diagnosed with melanoma. I was like, okay, call me. So he calls me, and we're chatting, and he's just kind of getting some stuff off his chest, which, is what I wanted him to do. And, I'm like, if I can offer any help or provide any help, I'll definitely do that. And, he was comparing his experience to mine. And he's like, man, I just feel weird talking to you about it because, your cancer was so much worse. And, I just kind of feel like a wimp, and I feel like I shouldn't be down. And I was like, dude, it's not a really a competition to see whose life is shittier. Life is pretty shitty. It all sucks. And not all of it, obviously, but like getting bad news is getting bad news no matter, it's all relative. So like just because maybe your bad news isn't as bad as my bad, I feel like I'm saying bad news a lot. But I was just saying like it's okay to feel bad. Like it kind of disrupted your world, and that's okay. And he was like, I just picked up a 6-pack, and I think I'm gonna chill tonight. I was like, absolutely do that. This guy's a veteran. He actually has had a melanoma scare before. I was like, dude, drink that 6-pack. Think about, get in your feelings, think about it, plan in your head, whatever, and then wake up tomorrow and go back to being the badass that you are. Like, it's okay to have bad days. I think it's healthy. 1, it means you're alive. And 2, like, nobody's perfect. The more we pretend like we are, the worse things are gonna get. Like, if we all just took a second to step back and relax, learn a little bit about ourselves, I think the world would be a better place, as cheesy as that sounds. There's gonna be a lot of cheesy stuff throughout this, by the way, I have no doubt. But, I went to meditation the other night, and I've just, I've been trying to get the mind right, the body right. And the meditation was really cool because it was just, our time. There was a group of us, and we just put our phones away, and we were just chatting, and it's like, that's hard to do. We have so much going on. It's hard to find that balance where you get some time to yourself. And that's one thing I've been working on, It's like making that time to either dance in the living room, go to the gym, hang with my buddy, watch Netflix. I've got to do at least one of those things a day. And yesterday was a good day. It really was. I got up early. I went to the gym. I shared some thoughts and opinions on Facebook that I think were helpful. And, it was overall, I got to go to Tyler's and help him with the house. Another buddy came over, got to hang with the dogs. Tyler made steak and eggs. It was like perfect. So, but it was still just like a little off. What am I, like, I didn't feel like going to the gym anymore. Not anymore, just yesterday. And I was like, what do I need to do? And I'm like, man, you just need to just chill at home, turn on some music, get your thoughts out there, and just just have a normal day just without all the other stuff. You know, it's all about balance. And right now, listening to my body, I feel like my balance, I need to pick up the stay at home and dance part more. You know, going to the gym and doing all this stuff is fun, don't get me wrong, but it is still a little stressful. Not, it's just something that you have to do, and it's hard to maintain that discipline. So I was just like, I'm just gonna take it easy today. Not that any day is really that hard, but I'm gonna take it a little bit easier. That way, you know, tomorrow when I'm ready to work out, I'll be that much more motivated. Like, hey man, you took yesterday off, time to make up for it. You know, and the reason I don't mind only doing half of what I wanted to do yesterday and taking today off is because I know I earned it. You know, I've been busting my ass at the gym, so I'm gonna give myself a day off. I'm gonna give myself a day and a half off. You know, I've been spending a lot of time at Tyler's. That makes me happy. That helped me huge last night. We had some great conversations. You know, we always do, but it was definitely just like the right time for it. And I didn't get a lot of time to dance in the living room. You know, I got enough time. I got to do it, but it was like, you know, the whole listen to my body. And that's what I'm gonna do, man. Is I'm just gonna chill today at my house and do what I know on the weekends. This is what I normally do. I listen to music, hang out with the animals, dance in my living room, you know, whatever. And today I was just like, I need more of that. Listening to my body, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to do that. You know, yesterday was overall a good day, but there were some negative parts to it. And I feel like I'm going to associate that with it. So today I want to make up for it. Life threw me a negative curveball. So I'm going to make up for it by sending life some more positivity. And I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna share my thoughts, and I'm gonna just swing right back at that curveball. I don't know, there's something there. You guys get what I'm getting at, right? There's something, I was on to something kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm just gonna like document this, edit it afterwards, and post it. I'm thinking, what are we at? We're at 23 minutes exactly right now. So I'll edit it up, I'll chop it up, and considering how long it's probably gonna be, I might release it in like 3 parts. But you're gonna spend the day with me. It's like, I think it's 7 a.m. My only thing I ever use to check the time is my clock or my phone. But I think it's like 7. And if you guys just want to hang out with me, you're already 20 minutes in, so I feel like you're cool with that. And I'll try to keep the camera in one spot. Obviously, other cats get into a grocery bag there. So it might move around a little bit, especially when I get dancing. That's one thing. So yeah, yesterday I'll have a lot of thoughts when I look back on it, and then I want to remember. Like I said, it was kind of a negative day, but I want to make a positive day right afterwards. So today will be the day that I teach myself a few dance moves and hang out. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna finish this tea before it gets too cold, and then we'll see what happens. So I'll check in here in a little bit.